We have analyzed we have analyzed the trend of annual traffic crashes from 2022 to 2024. And I wish we had a graph, that graph projected, but we are unable. And what we notice is an increase in these figures, both the fatalities, serious accidents, and minor accidents. I wish to mention that fatal crashes are those crashes that we lose life. Where we register death is where, those are called fatal crashes. We can register death on the spot, or death resulting from a crash that occurs within a period of 1 year is captured as a fatal crash, as a fatality. So this one, I think you need to understand it, that we register death on the spot there, where the crash and collision, where the collision has occurred. But again, there could be serious injuries sustained by individuals and they are taken to hospital, but within a period of 1 year, if one succumbed by those injuries, then we register it as a fatality. So I want to assure you that we don't lose track when someone is seriously injured and is taken to hospitals. We always track those people, and finally they appear in our statistics. Serious crashes is when an individual is injured. A person is injured in a road crash, sustains some serious injuries, and sustains some minor injuries on an individual. We group those injuries as serious crash. However, for minor, even though the collision results into write-offs of your vehicles, and you can never put it on the road, but no person is injured, we take it to be minor. So don't say, but my vehicle is now a write-off, I've lost it. And when you say it is a minor accident and you look at the extent of the damage, then you don't say, my vehicle, it was involved in a serious accident. We don't categorize it that way. The casualties arising out of these road accidents, there were 25,808 casualties from road crashes in 2024 compared to 24,728 in 2023, giving a 4.4 increase in the number of casualties. We still continue to realize a trend in the number of casualties on our roads. And this year, the increment was registered as 4.4% increase in the number of casualties. I wish to mention that the victims, those who perished on our roads, in 2023 were 4,806 victims. Those died on our roads. In 2024, we registered 5,144 deaths translating to 7% increase. Those who died on our roads, 5,144 in 2023. This is not a small number. This is a big number, and I would like to mention that these numbers have now crossed a red line. These fatalities have crossed a red line, and this should be treated as a public health concern in this country. 5,144 deaths registered in 2024 from road crashes has now reached a public health concern, and we need to move at strategic level and contain this situation. Those who sustained serious injuries in 2023 were 16,736, and in 2024 there were 17,013, translating to an increase of 1.7%. 17,000 sustained serious injuries, and this is adding on the statistics of the disabled population in this country. This has an impact on our labor force. We are weakening the labor force. The productivity of the labor force, what we call labor force productivity, is decreasing if this trend is not addressed urgently. 17,000 to sustain serious injuries is a high number. Further, the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety analyzed the time when these crashes occurred, and these are the findings. More crashes were reported to have occurred during the daytime than night time. And the same trend is reflected on the fatalities tables. The statistics we analyzed, the fatalities also fall into that category, that trend. It was discovered that more crashes occurred between 6 p.m. to 7:59 p.m. in the evening. That is 1800, sorry, this is between, no, it is 1600. 1600 is 4 p.m. I repeat. The analyzed statistics reveal that more accidents occurred during 1600 hours to 1759 hours. That is between, in our local language, 4 p.m. to 5:59 p.m. The same period between 1600 hours to 1759 hours is when also we register fatalities. This is on a normal day a crash hour. But again, we realized on further analysis, we realized that these fatalities and these more crashes occur on Sundays. Why do people die on a Sunday when we have less vehicles on our roads? We analyzed further this information and discovered that 1, speed as a cause, 2, intoxication. Majority of our drivers go to leisure places and get intoxicated and jump into their vehicles, drive and overturn or kill other road users. And therefore our interventions will be guided by these findings, properly analyzed by our directorate. It is unfortunate that the highest number of these crashes, the fatalities, during this time of 1800 hours and 1959 hours, in 2024, we lost 894 persons during that rush hour. Tuesdays, you need to register this, that on Sundays, that's the day of the week, we registered 3,790 crashes. And on Saturdays, we registered 3,765 crashes. And on Friday, we registered 3,689 crashes. But when you check the figure of Tuesday, is the lowest, followed by Wednesday the lowest, and Thursday the lowest. Come Friday, the figures go up. Saturday, they continue going up. And on Sunday, this is where we have chaos on our roads. We need to tame these 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if we are to reduce these road crashes. The directorate further analyzed crashes by collision type, and we discovered that collisions with pedestrians constituted 19.5% of all crashes. Collision with pedestrians, these people who walk, who are standing on the roads, who cross the roads on foot. They are not making U-turns. They cross the roads. This constitutes 19.5% of all crashes. However, the rear end collisions and side swipes accounted to 16.2% and 17.7% respectively. Side swipes 17.7% and rear end collision 16.2%. What do we mean by rear end? This is what we call tailgating in traffic. That you don't leave a reasonable distance when you are following another vehicle or a motorcycle on the road. You should leave a reasonable distance, and it is an offense not to leave that distance. That braking distance, in case of any hazard, if you don't leave enough space, then you will hit that vehicle which is in front of you. And that's what we call rear-end collisions. But the side swipes are these where, on the sides, vehicles collide with each other. The collisions on the sides. And these can be caused by a number of factors, as we realize. That someone may be dodging a pothole and gets a side swipe. Someone may be overtaking, improper overtaking, and you end up with that side swipe. Or even to dodge head-on collision, you can also have that, side swipe. And these are becoming many in spite of our roads, which may also be narrow. So they are becoming many, and last year they contributed to 17.7%. They are head-on collisions, the head-to-head. The head-on collisions accounted for 13%, and the angle collisions for 10.5% of all crashes. However, there were 9% of all crashes registered as single vehicle crashes, where you are alone, you hit an obstacle, or you overturn. Because of speed, or because of any other improper driving arising out of the driver behavior. We also have that our animals still cross the roads, and we also register those crashes, and they amount to 1.6%. The causes of these crashes were also analyzed, and we found out that careless overtaking and speeding were the leading causes of road crashes in the year 2024, accounting for 44.5% of all these crashes. Speeding alone registered 5,505 crashes, and careless overtaking, we registered 5,657, and these are the leading causes of the crashes in 2024. There are several, ranging from using a mobile phone, the dazzling lights on vehicles, and these are mainly trucks, and some station wagons. And then we have obstacles on the carriageways, violating traffic signals, neglecting right of way. Neglecting the right of way. 335 crashes were registered because of that. Violating traffic regulation, direction, careless pedestrian. We also have pedestrians that do cross carelessly. We have analyzed we have analyzed all these crashes one by one. And there is no crash that is similar to the other. Each is unique of the other. And that's why we are coming up with such a figure of careless pedestrian. Those who were involved in crashes because of their carelessness, when they are walking along or crossing the road carelessly were 946 persons. And those who were following too close, that tailgating, were 1,753 crashes. We analyzed the trend of death on our roads, and we found out that in 2023, the drivers who died were 232. And in 2024, the drivers who died were 228. However, the results and the findings we got on the motorcyclists were very, very absurd and high. In 2023, 1,520 motorcyclists were killed on our roads. And in 2024, the number increased by 13.2%, amounting to 1,720 motorcyclists' deaths. And this number continues to go up. However, we also registered an increase in death of passengers on motorcycles. Whereas in 2023, there were 614 passengers on motorcycles dying, in 2024, they were 676, an increase of 10.1%. Therefore, if you look at the motorcyclists' death and the passengers on motorcycles and add these two figures, they will amount to 43.3%. 43.3% as death arising out of motorcycle-related accidents. And therefore, we appeal to all stakeholders to increase vigilance on handling the motorcycle problem on our roads. We also registered passengers in light omnibus, registered death of many passengers in light omnibus. These are vehicles that we call Toyota Hiace, where the drones fall, the so-called drones. Ugandans, you like baptizing vehicles. One is called Chibina, one is called Chigege, one is called drone, one is called Kamunye. You like baptizing. But those are local names. But all these vehicles are Toyota Hiace. And these are 14-seater passenger vehicles. These are private owned. And they do business of transporting you people. And they have now become a menace. The highest number is arising out of the fact that it is very difficult to trace the drivers that are fatigued because of the several journeys they make. A good example though bad because it killed people, was a taxi that was hired by those who were going to attend a burial. This taxi had been on the road since 6 a.m. up to 7 p.m. and was working between Kabale and Mbarara. In the evening, it was hired by people in Ntungamo district to go to Hoima through Chegegwa and to move at night. I don't think those who hired knew that the driver was fatigued, or they asked whether it would be safe for such a driver they had hired to travel at night. A person who had driven the whole day started a long journey driving at night. At the end of the day, we lost almost all passengers in that vehicle. Now, it is very difficult for police to trace and find out whether that driver has been driving 24 hours. It's very difficult in these taxis. And this issue is becoming common when we look, when we analyze our footages in the CCTV rooms. We discover that this vehicle has been on the road, and at night it gets an accident without changing a driver. So the passengers who die in this way are becoming many. I also appeal to local governments to identify those markets, the open markets, such that we, together with them, educate that our people should not travel with the luggage on lorries. The lorries are goods vehicles. They should carry the bales of clothes and the other items on the truck, but the traders should move in buses and taxis. They should use other means other than being carried as a mixed baggage on the truck. When the truck gets a problem, we lose many people. And these markets are out of the reach in rural areas where traffic is not deployed. We appeal to local authorities to liaise with traffic officers wherever these trucks and markets operate to reduce the possibility of death for these market vendors. The pedestrians, as I noted earlier, yes, we still register a high number, but in 2024, we reduced the death on the pedestrian by 0.5%. I don't know whether it is because the Busega market has shifted, because it was operating on the road. And I want to thank those who shifted the market to somewhere now an enclosed area. However, it remains operating on the side of the road. Now, why pedestrians are dying most is because in Uganda, most of our open markets are along roads and highways in this country. Now, these open markets, again, sell alcohol. And alcohol is readily available in this country. If you have a 500 shilling coin, you will access alcohol. Even 100 coin, you can access alcohol. We need to do something. Alcohol in this country has become a big problem. Domestic violence, alcohol surfaces. You analyze traffic traffic death, alcohol surfaces. What's wrong with Ugandans taking alcohol to the extent that you must die? Can't we reduce this consumption of alcohol? Should it remain a problem? Ugandans should learn how to tame their alcohol consumption. And this is self-regulation. Some of you leave your fridges at home and they are not locked, and the previous day you had visitors and you have left alcohol in those fridges and you have left adolescents in your home. The next thing we hear, someone has overturned or several young children have died in a crash, to discover they were moving from a certain home, going to another home, and had taken alcohol. Please let us tame the appetite and the way we take this alcohol in this country. Lastly, I want to echo on crash fatalities by police regions. We compared policing regions, and these are the results. The regions of Ruizi, Kampala North, KMP East, KMP South, Arbatine and Wamara regions recorded high number of fatal crashes, and these are now on our red line. The regions of Greater Masaka, Rwenzori West, Busoga East, North, and Savannah had fatal crashes ranging between 200 and 297, and if we had projected, you would see this map clearly. But again, we also have what we call the crash severity index by policing regions. And when we calculated this, we came out with, again, interesting results. And the crash severity index was highest in the regions of Busoga North, Rwenzori West, in Ruizi, Kigezi, Arbatine, and Bukedi North, where between 35 to 45 people died in every 100 crashes. The severity index is a simple calculation. Simple calculation that out of every 100 crashes, how many people die? And we found out that in Busoga North and Ruizi, Arbatine, you have the highest. This means that when you get 100 crashes, around 45 people die, and this number is high. The chances are that when you are involved in any crash, you will die. The probability is almost a half. You find yourself involved in a crash, death is likely to occur. These regions have also been mapped, and we know all of them. We also analyzed the fatalities by age group, and discovered that more fatalities were recorded for persons below the age of 35 years, accounting for 55% of all fatalities. You need to note that more fatalities were recorded for persons below the age of 35 years, And this accounted for 55.7% of all fatalities. How many people were killed? Those ones below 35 years were 2,867. The age below 35. Isn't this the age of the youth? These are the youth. Now, the youth in this country, we are reducing them by 2,867 persons. By 2024, we lost them. And you are talking about labor productivity. However, the old people above 65 to 74, they are not dying as this group. But again, around 80% of these who die are male and 20% female. Is it because female do not drive vehicles? Or they don't drive on Sunday, Saturday and Friday evening? Is it because this funny behavior on our road use is risky among the males more than women? These are the questions we need to pose and design proper intervention. But I want to appeal to you young boys. The roads are going to kill you unless you change your behavior. Especially on Friday evening, Saturday evening, and Sunday evening. You are dying. What's wrong with those days at night? Should we say females are at home and you people, you are roaming around the city, in towns? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. It is not that ladies don't drive, they do drive. But it is 20% that perish in this. And yet 80 are males. I need to mention, lastly, that there are, of course, challenges, and these challenges on drug use, the toxic intoxication. Toxic substances are many, and it seems we have a population that is ready to consume those toxic substances. And the more we consume them and enjoy them, the more death and serious injuries we register on our roads. We also need to look into this issue and see how to reduce consuming toxic substances. And there are a variety, and you know them. I hope there is no one who consumes them and is present in this room. But I know out of a congregation like this one, we cannot fail to get like 20%. And the names are now beginning to come up. I don't know. But we need to do something about this intoxication. We also have that challenge of these motorcycles, and I still advise that to reduce crashes related to motorcycles, we need to control a whole chain of motorcycle business in this country, right from importation, where they come as spares, They are assembled in different places where police may not know. Others are assembled in people's homes, and these motorcycles find their way on the roads. We need to control the importation. We need to gazette areas where we sell these motorcycles. It should not be any person to assemble and sell. And then regulate the use, that by the time it gets out on our roads, is properly registered, has a rider known, and where that rider is going to operate. And when it is an obsolete, we also have a mechanism of destroying these motorcycles. But I also want to explore, even if we get these electric motorcycles, that we can reduce on the speed, but also we need to explore the type of motorcycle, and we don't rely on a high-powered motorcycle Bajaj that we use to carry passengers. We also have these, what do you call them? You can't carry two people. Scooter. Have you seen scooter? The scooter, you cannot ride it on a speed beyond even 20, 30. And it only carries two people. I mean, a rider and one person. Isn't it? If we are to reduce carnage, we also need to look into the available motorcycles and see which is we can use so that we save life. But if we go by the business angle, is where we get it wrong, and this is why motorcyclists are dying. Road safety is the principle that we should follow in regulating these motorcycles, not a business perspective. There are steps by government that are being taken to improve road safety. Number one, the mandatory vehicle inspection, and as I said last week, if it is fast-tracked, will significantly reduce vehicles which are not roadworthy. But again, they will reduce the vehicle adjustments which are done by private people, owners. And this will help us to contain the load on these motor vehicles and ensure that they carry the load according to the license they have, or according to the manufacturer's specifications. When you get a license of your vehicle, please do not go and have adjustments on those vehicles because you want to carry a double load. That may cause malfunction of some parts of this vehicle and can cause the accidents. Two, the government is considering automating driver testing systems in order to control driver competence and standards. We are already in partnership with the Ministry of Works and Transport, and so soon these facilities will be in place and all driver testing systems will be automated, and we shall achieve that competency and standards in driving. We are also fast-tracking the intelligent transport monitoring system with a view of disciplining drivers and riders and reducing speed on our roads. Once this project of intelligent transport monitoring system is in place, we shall reduce speed and we shall reduce on this indiscipline on our riders. We also have the long term, which we cannot achieve tomorrow. For example, the road redesigning our roads. We need to develop road infrastructure that can discipline road users. If you can't be disciplined by yourself, then the designers of the roads should discipline you. We should separate our traffic. We shouldn't have a traffic mix where a wheelbarrow pusher is struggling with space with a trailer, with a bus, and with a station wagon, and a small car, and motorcyclists. We should separate our traffic, segregate it. If the road design can create where motorcycles can ride, where pedestrians can walk, and lanes for fast-moving vehicles, then is when we can say our roads are taming these drivers, and we shall reduce the death and serious injuries tremendously. And this is a long-term project of redesigning these roads. You don't have the money today that you have those roads. You always compare with those countries which have been here for so long, those developed countries, Britain, Dubai, and you say that infrastructure can come here today. Lastly, also to implement mass transit transport system, and this includes railway transport and the Kayora bus transport, where many people are transported from point A to point B. Because these means of transport are not available, the border-borders tend to carry most of our passengers. If the passengers move in this mass transport system, the border-borders will have no market, and therefore they will wither by themselves. I want to thank you, because we did not have the projector. It has taken long. If we had the projector, it would take less time. Thank you very much for listening.
We shall entertain questions later. Let me invite the director. Within a few minutes to give a few remarks on the report that was launched last week. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be with you here once more. So, as traffic has finalized, I also follow with an overview on the annual crime report on fires in this country, fire prevention and rescue services. I want to thank you very much for being very patient as we gave you the report the other week. We have also to give you in details. And I start by saying there was an increase of 13. Somebody will say, I have not introduced myself. I am AIGP Stephen Tanui, the Director of Fire Prevention and Rescue Services, Uganda Police. So there was an increase of 13.8 in the number of fires reported from 1,104 in 2023 compared to 1,280 in 2024. Out of the cases reported, 1,150 were successfully handled. 120 were handled before arrival. And 10 were fixtures fires. 67% of the fires were reported between 0600 hours to 1200 hours. 67% of the fires were reported between 0600 hours to 12, then 33% were reported between 00100 hours to 6 in the morning. And that one, as you analyze, it was a 13.8% increase. In 2023, there were 1,104, and an increase of 76 cases in 2024, totaling to 1,280. In 2022, there was also an increase in 2022 compared to 2023, which was a decrease. Now, when you analyze this, you look at the 67% of the fires were reported within 06 in the morning to midday. That is 1200 hours. That is the time when everybody is active in this country here. Many people are using the gadgets, like the way you are now here. Others are cooking. If you went to Kampala now, it's a very busy area, including our villages. So that is the time when we register many fires in this country. The majority of the fires were registered in residential buildings, followed by makeshift structures with a total of 300 and 250 respectively. In the same situation, there was a 9% increase in school fires. As you are aware, school fires were 50 cases in 2023. In 2024, we had 55, an increase of 5 cases, giving us a 9% increase. Ladies and gentlemen, you are aware that there was a time where the fires had become a problem in schools. And because of various reasons. But in 2024, there was only an increase of 5 cases. That is a sign that there is some good work which was done by all stakeholders this cannot be done by Uganda police only. It covers the heads of schools, the government officials, the Uganda police. And we have done a lot of sensitization here, even it is ongoing. As we continue, there is some teamwork going on. And that's why the numbers are really reducing. Major causes of fires, electricity related, ranging from electrical short circuits in the two, which were 270, to electrical appliances left unattended, totaling to 111. It was followed by negligence and misuse of wax candles, which carried 217, among others. The majority of occurrences were in the Kampala metropolitan, which Kampala metropolitan region, the policing area, with 993 cases registered in 2024. Kampala is unique. It has a lot of urban issues. Even fighting fires in Kampala here is very complicated. You know our suburbs the way they are. I may not spell all of them. If you went to Chisenyi there, fire has been rampant there. We take 5 minutes responding to fire in Chisenyi, but it will take us the whole day fighting that fire. Why? Access to those places is complicated. Now, we looked at the regions with the highest fire occurrences. That is going now one by one. Central region was leading with 24%. Nakawa area with 13%. Rubaga with 7%. Kawempe 32%. Wakiso, Entebbe, Mukono, Mpigi, and others who are going to give you, I know you already have. Then Albertine also, we are realizing that where there is a lot of an increase in development, the issues of fire incidents is coming up. So as the country develops, we need to plan heavily in the fire prevention. It is not, we don't like very much responding to fires, but the best is to prevent. But where situations arise and prevention has failed, then we go in and put off those fires. And we have a lot of strategies into that, which we shall share. So emergency rescued effected. That is rescues which were effected in the year 2024. You look at road accidents, it reduced. We rescued very few people there. But the highest was pits, open and closed pits. We rescued 200 persons, which was the highest. Then the valley dams and fish ponds, those people who drop into, who fall into ponds and valley dams, were the 50, followed by septic tanks in the homes. There were 10. Then the collapsed structures, these stone quarries, we rescued 7 people there. 4 sentries, 2. The total was 315 people rescued in 2024. Let's look at major causes of fires. Number 1 was negligence, candle wax. It is true we noted a highest number here. People tend to neglect most of their appliances, candle wax in homes. We even registered a case where a lady decided to put a candle wax, locked the house with the children inside, and went for a club in the night. Coming back in the morning, there is no house. Children tried to fight at the doorway. The door was locked from outside. And we lost those human beings. Originating from candle wax. The mattress was there and a net. So we warn our people really. Let's style up. I wish she had even left the door open. Could be these children would have survived. Those are some of the negligences. So it was the highest, and then poor cooking habits, charcoal stoves, cookers. You know how people tend to cook in the night, especially boiling those foods, ready to serve in the morning. And they go and rest and forget them. Leave those charcoal stoves unattended, cookers, and that is how we get these fires. They were 100. Electrical circuits were 270. Electrical appliances left unattended 111. Uncontrolled burning. We also have cases which are under investigation, 200. Not readily established, under investigation, 200. And we shall give you the results after. Sparks, 150. Gas cylinders. You remember the case of Nansana, the case of Natete. Gas cylinders are becoming a danger also. We want people, when you want really to service some of these cylinders, get experts. Don't just rush because you have seen it. The total was 1,208. Number of cases reported. Now, I also want to touch this year. We had the top 8 buildings and installations saved from fire in 2024. We saved the house, Kawa Communication Building, Namamve. It took our team about between 1 to 10 minutes, and we were there. And we managed to save that building. American Embassy, Makindye Division, Kampala. We also saved that building. NSF building, Kampala Central Division. The team from fire and rescue services saved that building. A Nigerian embassy, imagine a flat, and all those people were up in the flat, and fires had covered all this, the down floor. Those people were waiting for nothing.